Hey Hobby Extreme, we are going to hook up the trailer to bring it to Nick's house. Guess what? Nick's home from training. He is now officially a captain at Cape Air, and he's back for a few days until he gets sent off again to go do his actual job. So we are actually going to do a short little movie today, little video. I've got to take our hobby trailer, and we've got to go, of course, get it to Nick's house. And then we're going to do some stuff, and we're going to film it for you, and we're going to throw something up on the tube so you can see we're still out here, and we're still getting you content. I'm actually going to Southeastern Modelers Fly-In this week, and we're going to get some content out of that as well. So stay tuned. Here we go. Let's go hook up this trailer and get out of here. Oh.
That's new.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I got that. A lot of the jet guys had that at Jets Over Kentucky.
Okay.
And so it...
Mostly just going to use that for a generator?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Because did we ever tell them what happened to our other can that we used for a generator?
We don't talk about that.
He left it on the back of the camper, and it is now probably on a highway somewhere.
No.
Alright, so Dad's off to go grab my tools, so I'll kind of more in-depth talk about what our plan here is with this guy. We're going to be replacing our horizontals, so we have a new one for that. It's actually currently in the trailer. We're also going to be putting an aura, so this guy is going to go here. I think this will help it fly just a little bit better. Just experimenting. Don't really know what I'm talking about, but we'll see how the aura goes, and we'll have a good direct comparison on if this actually does make the plane fly better. It's also a really nice power redundancy as well, so we'll be able to get rid of this guy that I had in there. It's not as beefy. I don't really trust it as much, so this guy I trust a lot more. And we're also going to be putting the batteries farther forward. I'm hoping about right up here, which we're going to put that balsa plate in the airplane so that we can hopefully have a very easy access to the batteries, and we don't have to try to fumble with getting the straps around the tank and this spar right here, which they fit perfect right here, but it makes them a real big pain in the butt to try to get in and out. We're also going to be replacing a lot of the wire. This wire that I have in here is fairly old and could use an update. This is probably wire that's been in 3 other airplanes at this point. So we're going to be doing the right thing and replacing it and making our own wire. So this is Powerbox. It's really nice premium wire. They'll focus, you can see what I'm using. And this stuff is what I have in this entire airplane. It really cleans up the airplane and makes it a little bit lighter as well. So we're going to be doing the whole tail is going to be all new wire, and a lot of the front wire coming back to the servo is also going to be brand new wire. Hopefully that everything's a little bit updated, a little bit more brand new, and it should hopefully make it look a lot better. And if it looks better, it's going to fly better. That's my mentality. So we're going to, man, what can I do right now? I can't do anything. I don't have my tools. Dad has them all at his house, and he's on his way to go get them. So we're going to see if we can have this guy done before we go out. Also, you guys haven't really seen me in my shop in a long time. I've been gone, like I said in the last video, getting trained up by Cape Air to actually be a captain at Cape Air. Good news is I passed all my tests and all my check rides, so now I'm actually a captain at Cape Air right now. I haven't gone through IOE, which is initial operational experience, so I'm still home for possibly a couple weeks before I get shipped off again to go through that. So hopefully I get to get a little bit of flying in. I haven't flown for now like 7 weeks and I'm itching. And it's really good to be home. So we're gonna work on this stuff. Hopefully get to fly a little bit this week sometime. We'll see. And this guy is still all good to go. So I don't really have anything to do with him. He's been very good. Been downgraded to not being patient and now using Allen keys. Oh, that's right. It's not metric. AJ is all standard. Alright, let's see. Did I make my life easy? Nope. Another reason why I want to replace all the wiring. So, what I have made a practice now is I actually put a connection at every single servo point. This is a little bit more work on your first initial build, but I promise you, if you ever need to replace a servo in the tail or doing exactly what I'm doing here, you're going to really wish that you had a servo connection right here. Yeah, I don't at all. Which, honest, it's cool. I already mentally prepared that I'm going to be replacing all of this. Because if you don't have a connection there, then you have to do exactly that and just take all the wiring out anyways. So I'm going to do the length where actually the connection is going to be into the receiver and a plug is going to come out all the way here. Then I'm going to plug in the servo here. So if I ever have to pull it out, all I got to do is unplug it and stab comes out, which is a very normal practice for a lot of people that build these airplanes. That's not an abnormal thing to do in any sort, but this was very close to the first plane I ever built, and I learned a lot. So now I do that on all my airplanes. So recommend if you ever build one, and it'd be your first one, that you do it as well. So I love it. Already pre-glued, hinged. No freaking work into these. So I need this one. And then we replace it with that. God, it's dirty. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and quickly replace this. Beautiful, brand new piece. Oh, okay. Please let this be arms. I'm pretty sure that's what these are. Heck yeah, they are. All right, so now we just need to glue these guys onto that. All right, so you guys have seen me install hinges, not hinges, but arms before. So, but if this is the first time you've seen this and you are curious, I'm going to go ahead and just quickly walk through it. So each cutout, it looks like, yep, they already put the cutouts here. If the cutouts are not here, usually you can put it up to some light and see where the cutouts are. Just go ahead and start them by clearing out the monocoat where we're going to install. We're going to try to be careful not to cut the balsa wood. Sometimes you do have to clear it out, but we don't know that yet. So we're going to, and it also does help to have a very nice, sharp X-Acto for this, which mine is not at the moment. Luckily with this, it's going to be hidden anyway. So even if you accidentally tear some monocoat, it's not the end of the world. Test fit everything always before gluing it, because sometimes you do have to clear out some balsa, but you do want a nice tight fit. That way it keeps it square. AJ's cutouts are awesome. I remember when I built this airplane, I didn't have to like shave any balsa out. It worked great. Now we're also going to, not gluing these in yet. All I'm doing is more test fitting, and I'm also going to tape off the area that we are going to glue, that we don't want to glue. Side by side, slowly getting them down. So all we're going to do now is, with that backing plate in there, we're just going to put some tape all around the spot so we know where to cut some monocoat away later. Now, once it's like that, we take our arm back out, being very gentle, because these guys are also still just balsa wood. So if you're pressing really hard in one spot here, you can put your finger through it. So I usually put my whole hand on it to distribute that so that I don't risk it, and just slowly take it out. So we don't want to really bury into the balsa. We're just trying to cut the monocoat, which I know it's not called monocoat anymore. It's not that brand, but still ingrained in me on calling it that. So I will call it what I want. If I say monocoat, you know what I mean. All right. Now you also have noticed that I left some of the covering still on this side of the tape. That's so that when this plate goes on top, it still is going to hold some of the monocoat, which the monocoat is not structural, gluing to the balsa is, but this is going to help it from preventing that balsa around that cut area to peel up over time. So we still get the structure of gluing straight to the balsa, but it also helps with the monocoat not peeling up. So that's why I like to add just a little bit of a lip. No specific science there, just enough. You can use whatever kind of epoxy you want. This is the stuff that I have been using for my last couple airplanes, the Loctite EA608. It's been working very well. It's a gun like this is very convenient. This stuff is expensive, but I find that you can apply it more directly and you waste very little. Honestly, the only that you usually waste is whatever fills up in the mixer tube itself. You just get a whole bag of them off of Amazon and you can just buy just these guys. The gun is a one-time purchase and it's just really, really convenient. This stuff does cure really fast, which is not a problem. It's just how it's designed. So it's really nice. Now, if you're going to use some other type of basic over-the-shelf that you can probably get at like Home Depot, I highly recommend to just use 30-minute epoxy, not like 5-minute or something like that, especially when you have to mix it yourself because you want time, and also the 30-minute is a lot stronger than the 5-minute epoxy. So this stuff is awesome. Highly recommend it. We really got shown this when we started getting into jets. A lot of the jet guys, this is what they use for hinges. Possibly a couple different versions of this. I'm not familiar with all of them, but this is what we've been using and we have had zero issues. It's extremely strong. What I like to do is, you can see it run through the whole tube. I usually squirt out just a hair onto a piece of plastic. That way the end I know is all mixed up. And now we can just directly apply as much as we need right into the hole. I usually add just a hair on the balsa itself. Now it's also beneficial, so you don't waste tubes, is if you're doing like a whole airplane, have it all set up and ready to go. That way you can just go through and just hit all of them and then press everything in, and then you only waste one mixing tube. Oh crap, I needed to sand these. Crap. Are you plugged in? You are not. As I'm talking about it, and I'm not moving the camera right now, so I do apologize, but you need to sand these down. You can just imagine what I'm doing. There, sanded, so you don't want to glue with that film comes onto it because it's not abrasive and it doesn't sit very well with it. But I had to be efficient since putting the glue in. Lift up, make sure that there is full contact. I'm going to add a little bit more. It's still a little bit dry up top of the connection. And the cool part with tape is you can't really overdo it in my eyes. So even if something squirts out, it's perfectly okay because you got the tape. I think I can get away without doing my wire trick, but I've shown you guys before on how sometimes if you're trying to get wire like this through somewhere that can be difficult, is taking some safety wire, running it through since it's rigid. You can get it in a lot easier than this wire, but I'm not going to clip it yet. I'm just going to run it to give us a nice convenient tube to run anything through. Let's see if I can. And they put it on this airplane, they put that tube right at the servo hole, so it's like it's already through. Very convenient. I think I've shown doing plugs in the past. They're not as hard as you would think. The better wire and better crimps really do help in the easiness of this whole process going well. These are actually power box connectors. They're just servo connectors, but they are a little bit better. And also, since the sheath on this wire is a lot thinner, it clicks into the connector a lot better. When you have this really thick PVC wire, the sheath is a lot thick, and it makes it a really pain to try to click into it because it likes to interfere with where it enters in on these plugs. Also, another cool part about the power box plugs is the male and the female plugs are the exact same. The only thing that makes it into a male is literally just these little double-sided prongs and then putting this little shroud on it. So you can just have a bunch of the same connectors and they all work together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip all of these guys. Then I'm going to put these ends on and then click them all in and then do the same for the front. We have our connectors. They usually come on a little piece, so you just cut them off. And then what we're going to do is we have the wings. We're going to hold that upright. We're going to hold the crimper in our right hand. It does have a direction, so I usually always hold it in the right hand. That way I know when I hold it this way, it goes in the right way. I want to put it in the smallest one. I want to put it as far back as I can do. 1, 2 clicks, and then it should hold itself pretty well. Now what we're also going to do is we're going to take this and pull it, focus you. There we go. So you can see how much farther out it came. It's pretty recessed in the crimpers now. And if we notice, if you can see really closely, the 2 wings that are actually going to crimp on the wire. So that's the bit that's going to crimp on the wire. Those 2 long bits back there, that's what's going to crimp on the covering itself of the wire. So both those do need to crimp on it to give it the best strength on not this guy ripping off of the plug, but just taking this, pull it all the way till it stops. And now what we're going to do is we're going to slip the wire into the back of here. And we're just going to get the wire where we can just start to see the copper come to the full end of this crimper. And we should be good. So I'm going to take a wire. Usually if it's a little frayed, just give it a light twist. You don't have to get it perfectly twisted, just enough to where when I take this wire and I enter it into here, that's also why you don't need to cut away a lot of the wire, of the covering itself. Because if you cut away too much, that back crimp right there is going to not grab the covering itself, and it's going to grab just wire. All right, once you have all your connections in, we have all these connected up. Now, if you're ever going to, once you're putting these in, these are different colors, but traditionally they're about like this color. So black is always on the right. So if you are, I always put it where you can see the copper coming through where those have those little tabs up top, and black will be on the right. Where these plugs right here with the color that they are, I actually, when you buy the power box wires, they come with this little diagram. I always keep this in my little box that I use for my connectors, just so that it's complete dummy proof for me, just to remember. So we do blue, red, white. And that's how we're going to put them in to this guy. So I just make sure they're twisted up as much as I can, and then I just pop them in. You also can see that where those crimps are, those are going to be going up, because that's where it has the lip where it can grab onto that plastic piece. So that's going to go up with this guy being up. Alright, so we have three wires coming from the front. We have throttle, and this one is the ignition. And we'll have it just a switch, button, switch, so we got three wires to go somewhere nicely underneath. Alright, so this is what we got so far. All the extensions are made again. They're all going to be coming through this hole. So all I need to do is zip tie the wires back there up so that they're not moving. Secure that guy down, get a receiver. I'm probably going to put the receiver about like right there. And, or maybe back here, right here. So that's away from electronics. I can put the antennas back there or something. I don't know, brainstorming. So we need to do a receiver. We need to secure that down, secure those wires, and then I think we're just on to programming. All right, I think this is actually gonna be my battery replacement. It works with the canopy. I just tried it out, and I know we talked about doing the plate down here, but honestly, I think this is the exact layout that I actually do on that plane, the Flex. So I'm probably just going to do the same thing up here. It's really convenient. You can get to the batteries really easy. It pushes the weight a little bit farther forward, and it cleans it up. It's not as crowded down here. So I got some extensions for the cable, so I'm going to strap these down and clean those up. So it should be very convenient to get to the batteries. Got a receiver, so I'm probably going to put it there. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to be putting that guy. And so everything's plugged up. So now I just got to go through the tedious part of setting up the aura, putting all the correct channels on where I want them, setting up the receiver. The receiver should be easy because I already have an airplane built in the radio for this, so I shouldn't have to do too much programming on all that. And so it's pretty much just setting up the aura, which shouldn't take too long. So we'll see. I also forgot I had it backwards. So I usually will put the ignition and the throttle in the receiver itself and not through the aura. I think it just makes it a little bit easier because I don't have to, like the throttle position itself, I don't have to worry about going into the aura to adjust. I can just do it straight from the radio. I also don't need anything with a gyro in it. So, and as well as with the ignition, I don't need it to be gyroing the ignition. It also puts the ignition outside of the rest of the connectors, so hopefully it gets that high frequency a little bit away from the rest of this stuff. So that's why I usually will put the ignition, throttle, and then the one wire for the S-bus into here, and then all the other flight controls go through the aura itself. So now I need to hopefully figure out if I can remember how to do all this. This aura was in a different airplane, so I need to wipe it and completely factory reset it. So hopefully I can figure out how to do that and then program it. I'm wondering if I could still use the program I already had for this airplane in here. It is a different receiver because this one, we had the gyro jetty receiver in here, but now this is just a basic Rex 10 that we're going to. So I think I don't have to make a whole different profile in the radio. Hoping not. So let's do that and let's see how this goes. Alright, we're now finally, screw you steam, go away. Alright, so now we're finally got everything working. Throttle's working. Elevator, I still need to adjust throws, but we got rudder all going the right direction. We got our ignition working. So basic rundown on how to do a setup in this guy. So radio is about the same for it no matter what, except like Spectrum, which most of you guys are probably going to be using. You basically set up the radio as a just one aileron, one elevator, one rudder, just simple, and then set all the throws in default to 98 for Jetty, but 125 for Spectrum. So you'll set all your throws 125 up and down on all your flight controls to 125, and you won't adjust that at all in the radio. You do all the throw adjustment in the Aura itself. Now, since we're doing X-Bus with just one servo port, for Jetty, if you want to know how to get to it, it's Model, Device Explorer, Receiver, Rex 10. Then you go to alternate pin config, and then I have mine in E1. So I just went to E1, I set that as X-Bus, and then it communicates to the Aura. It's very similar to on Spectrum. You'd also just set it to X-Bus. I think it's called something else, or S-Bus or something like that. And that's pretty much it for radio. You also can do a manual system where it will, if you wanted to use your dual rates and Expo, you can use dual rates and Expo in the radio. That's what I always do. There's a point here if you go to setup and you do use Aura, dual rates, and Expo. I'm actually going to turn that off so I remembered how to do that. So dual rates and Expo, I have that off. I have auto detect signal off. And then I also have, so now when you're first setting up one of these in the Aura, you'd actually go to File, New File Config. You follow the system. It's really easy. If it is a flex aircraft, you actually can automatically put in, like, say it was the Flex Edge, you actually can select Flex Edge 540, and it will auto put the gyros and everything on what they've found has been good. So that makes that really convenient. This is not a flex. So you just click New File Config. You follow its little steps. Make sure that you do the servo ports and everything in that config as well. And that's going to be like where everything's plugged into on here. So I just put that, like, my S1 is my left aileron, and so forth on the Aura itself. And then it just works. It does a really good job with that. So now we're going to put the wings on. We're going to start setting throws, and then I'm going to start going into gyro setup, and then this guy will be pretty much done. Hopefully it flies a little bit better, and hopefully Dad likes it, so we will see. Alrighty, so we got all the throws done, and everything is working how it's supposed to. We got flight modes. So on the Aura for flight modes, first thing is on the setup page. You can set up how many flight modes you want. I'm going to put mine on a 3-position switch, so 3 flight modes and whatever channel it came out to. Quick and dirty way is, like, if you have it set up something in the radio, you don't know what channel it's like communicating with the Aura. If you just flip that switch, you also can see here that it's adjusting channel 10. So that's a quick dirty way that I know that needs to be on channel 10 for on this point right here. And then once you have that, you go to flight modes, and now you can see all the way down is high gain, middle is low gain, and all the way up is gyro off. That's how I have it. I'm going to play around with the settings here, but this is the basic settings I have for high gain, low, and off, so 0. and we're going to play around and see what that does. So, and then also don't forget to write all to Aura once you're done. And that's that. So everything is all set up. I think I really like the battery placement a lot more, so that should be good. I need to double side the receiver down. That's good and set. And yeah, we should be good to go. We're probably going to be packing up the trailer tonight. What time is it? 4. So I'm probably going to start packing the trailer since we're going to be actually going to Southeastern Modelers for their little fun fly, their fall fun fly, and hopefully get some rips in. I haven't flown for like 7 weeks now, so I am going to be rusty. I'm hoping to try to get some sim time in tonight or something. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching on this little work video. And if you guys have any questions on anything that I didn't go in depth on, please leave a comment, like and subscribe. It really does help us have the funds to be able to do some more. That really does go a long way for us. And yeah, thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.